Third Reich tends to dominate German history. But there's a less talked about part of German history, known as the German Empire, or the Second Reich, that really gets overshadowed by the Third Reich, and this is quite a shame. This period holds a lot of insight into how Germany actually formed together from basically a bunch of broken states, and how this new German state affected the world stage in its brief life, as well as had ramifications for further German states down the line. Now, if we were to look at German history and flip through the pages and look at maps, they would see basically a huge mess. A bunch of puzzle pieces that didn't fit, that were all completely a mess. See, much of Germany was part of a state called the Holy Roman Empire. And while it had many states in between, and many different statesmen who worked together on occasion, they mostly kept to themselves and really only came together to elect some form of emperor every few years. The religious wars that racked Europe in the 1630s and the following Treaty of Westphalia really only to further complicate things in the empire. Despite this, the empire managed to limp on for almost another 200 years. That is until Napoleon swept through Europe and kind of destroyed the whole system. Despite this, Germans did desire to be part of some new hypothetical German nation, and as soon as the empire collapsed, German nationalist movements sprung up all over Germany and Austria. The main question was, which state would head this new German order? And that state would come to be Prussia. Founded by Teutonic Knights crusading centuries earlier, Prussia had emerged from the Napoleonic Wars, a verified European superpower on the same level of France or even Russia. Many thought Austria would actually lead this order, but by the late 1800s, Austria had proven to be too weak. In 1866, Prussia had proven its dominance in the German-speaking world by defeating Austria in a war that only lasted a year. Prussia, now with newfound dominance, took northern many German confederations and formed one giant northern German confederation that it itself headed. This excluded Austria. So this would be formed the basis of the new German state that would become known as the German Empire. Now, many southern German states who had fought against Prussia in the war with Austria were not that bitter and still wanted to join with Prussia, but were concerned over the heavy Prussian military aristocratic influence that this would have over a new state. And none perhaps influenced and exemplified this than Otto von Bismarck. Bismarck will come to be the architect of this new German state, and he knew that his first step was unification through a war. You see, the southern German states only agreed to any sort of cooperation if Germany was attacked from the outside. So Bismarck set his eyes on a country that he could use to start a war, and that was France. He knew he needed a reason for France to attack and not Germany to attack. In 1870, he got his wish with some Spanish succession issues, caused tension between France and Prussia. He managed to goad the French into declaring war, and Prussia with the southern German states beat France back within the year. Bismarck now set to work, seizing the opportunity and creating his new state. He combined his northern German confederation with the southern German states who had allied with the confederation, as well as a new territory to the west in Alsace-Lorraine that the French had ceded to the Prussians after the war. Bismarck didn't really rest on his laurels, and he worked tirelessly to make sure that this new German state, smack dab in the middle of Europe, would always be sailing in friendly waters with the other powers. Because you see, Bismarck was painfully aware of Germany's position in Europe. Now, Germany was smack dab in the middle. This meant it was vulnerable to attack in the west from France, it was vulnerable to attack in the east by Russia, and it was also vulnerable to attack in the south by Austria. All three had a vested interest in not seeing this German state succeed. So Bismarck worked hard to create a three emperors where he combined Austria, Russia, and Germany into an alliance. And all was going well until in 1888, the first Kaiser, Wilhelm I, died, passing his succession on to Frederick III, who also died, and then Kaiser Wilhelm II took over. And this was a young and brash Kaiser who would prove to be disastrous for the new German Reich. He embarked on a massive imperialist and foreign policy that would seek colonies all over the world. First in Africa, where he got colonies in Togoland, Cameroon, East Africa, as well as West Africa. Not to mention a massive military buildup of the German Navy. And Otto von Bismarck repeatedly warned Wilhelm not to pursue this, as it was going to isolate Germany. He dismissed him and continued to pursue this policy of Germany's place in the sun, as he called it. In 1890, things went from bad to worse when France and Russia signed treaties to be with each other and ally. France was now an enemy, obviously. Russia, previously a friend, was also now an enemy. In and even Britain was also now an enemy. For various reasons, its navy and Germany's navy weren't going to exist in the same seas. Wilhelm's massive territorial gains and aggressive imperialist foreign policy, and not to mention his increased suicidal naval buildup, only served to isolate Germany. And this put Europe on a massive ticking time bomb that could only end in one way. And that one way, sadly, was war. This massive war would only serve to bankrupt the new German state, and 4 years of harsh war would leave it completely politically and culturally shattered, and weak enough to be led to a darker future.